Hello, hello, hello again, and welcome back. We're going to jump into some league matches with Tameshi Belcher. Just real quick, looking at the deck list. I like that it splits into these nice even piles of 12. We got 12 counter spells, we got 12 tapped lands, we got 12 creatures, we got 12 untapped lands, and we got 12 artifact slash spell that gets into artifacts. The sideboard, we got 7 permanent answers to hate, and then we got 8 counterspells answers to interaction. So that's what we got. We're gonna try to Belcher. We got Bloom and Tameshi. We got where to go get everything. We got our 2-drop creatures that smooth out our draw. Play the 24 lands and the 12 interaction. We got the 3 packed 1 Commandeer main. There's a link to the deck list in the description, as well as a link to a primer that includes a sideboard guide. So if you are looking for a sideboard guide, please stop on by. We won the first match. That's in my how to play video that goes more into depth about this deck list and about how the cards work and interact, why they work, how this combo works. So if you want to learn how, please look for that video. There's also a link to the Discord where you can join, ask any questions you want, talk with people who have been playing the deck, building the deck, tweaking the deck for months, ever since Modern Horizon 3 released. His hand's close. 3 lands is a little low, but we can go get a Bloom. I'm missing the Belcher. Logi, we got one. We got our worst of the 2 diggers, but lodging the flare is great. It requires us to bolt ourselves on 2, which means we can't also bolt ourselves on 3 for Bloom. This is very unlikely to become a turn 4 win, but it has interaction. Yeah, I think it's close. I think it's close enough to keep on the play. Mulliganing is just we go if we go down cards, it gets harder. If this hand didn't have Where, I wouldn't keep. If it didn't have him, I wouldn't keep. Like if this was a Tameshi, it would be, well, Tameshi would be close because I could make a bunch of mana turn 4. So I don't know. In ideal world, this pact would just be a Belcher. I would feel great about this hand. But we are where we are. We draw any untapped land. This looks okay. Perfology hits the Belcher. I think we're gonna do the Jawari Ruins first on the off chance we end up. This game ends up going long. Waterlogged Teachings is a great tutor late game. One downside to our deck now being on the front page of Goldfish is that most people probably know what we're doing as soon as we play one of our lands. That's a good draw. I'll take it. Run this out into a spell snare, potentially. This resolving is great because it means we have flare up for their frog, assuming this is frog. If it's a Goryos list, we also not a great On first glance you might be like, take the shoal, it's interaction, but we only have 3 3/3 and a 4-drop in our hand and a 0-drop. This shoal doesn't have a lot of fodder right now. An untapped land here means we could still have a turn 4 win if we went turn 3 were for Bloom. Turn 4, it would be 2 more bolts, so we'd be putting ourselves to 11, but I think we take this. Might be incorrect. I also can't, just because it's Delta, I can't assume that this is 100% frog, although it's likely. It could be Goryos, in which case, yeah, I don't think Shoal on 3 does anything against Goryos Vengeance. Against Frog, it's also just 2-drops or like Murktide. And a lot of 1-drops, obviously. So, we have Flare. I guess I don't want to pass the turn completely. Yeah, okay. Okay, this looks... Huh. Threshold. Sack, draw 3, then discard 3. This might be... I guess Goryos might play this. I haven't played Modern in a little while. I took like a 2 month break in the time that Belcher went from being kind of a fringe tier 2 deck, interesting draw, to being a mainstay in the format. I of course wasn't around. So the question here becomes: do we want to? I don't think we want to whir for what's it called? Bloom. I think we want to set up to whir for Belcher. I don't know. That's just so much mana. We also going to hold up Sink into Stupor plus Flare this turn if we want to bolt ourselves. I'm not sure what they're doing yet, though. I guess if we were for Bloom, we could shock again next turn to Teachings for another whir. This would be so much better if this was like Tameshi. I think I'm just playing it tapped. Might be incorrect, but I think with Flare, I'm okay not holding up Sink into Super this turn. And on the, I mean, our opponent is playing blue and white. Like, it's pretty likely they're playing counter magic. Until I know exactly what this is. It is. So I could flare this, but I think we want to let this resolve and try to fight over a Goryos Vengeance. Especially because this is on our turn, where they could force the negation. Okay, it is Goryos. It is Goryos. Maybe we should have shocked and gone for the speed of getting Bloom, but no action from them this turn bodes well for us. Because now we can hold up Flare, Sink, or go ahead and whir. Although now I want to Thundercap for sure. Hopefully just see a Belcher here. Would be great. It would be a bummer if I flip over like 3 Tameshis. Probably might be going for an end step. Shoal. I still have no 2-drops for Shoal. I guess I'll take the Shoal because I can Shoal a 3-drop against their Force of Negation. And I think that they're going to go for an end step Goryos that'll fight with Flare, and they have Force of Negation backup. So I'll take it now. We've dug quite a few cards to not see a do I want to hold Sink? Can't do anything with 2 mana, so I might as well play a tap land out. I think at this point I'm going to play Teachings. I don't know that we're going to get a chance to resolve that. I guess next turn we might. But I guess if we have a window at this point, we're just going to whir. Although I kind of want to leave stuff on the bottom of my deck. Because I'm more likely to just draw into a Belcher soon. Sorry, I always pass thinking it's going to go through my turn and it stops on attack. There is an end step Goryos. It's like I drew it up. So, we'll hit this. We'll sack the Philology. I assume we're going to see a flare, force of negate. No. Okay. Well, we don't have to burn our shoal yet. I might just have another one on their turn, which would be unfortunate because obviously I don't have any 2-drops and I can't pact yet. 1 mana short of pact. So if they do that, I will be bummed, but nothing we can do about it. Emperor. He has a 2 mana to adapt, of course. I wish wishes were fishes. Have to let it resolve. I guess at least he can't also ephemerate. So we kind of got that going for us, I guess. But he's got to draw a buttload of cards. A metric buttload. What does he take here? Ulamog next turn. So it probably takes Vengeance. No, it probably takes Force. Solitude. Land. Chooses Force. Attracts in Marsh Flats. Attracts is an interesting pick. I guess Solitude doesn't really matter in this matchup, so that's fair. We can protect ourselves from Force. Really unfortunate that we've put what? Put 4 cards on the bottom. So we've seen over 20 cards without a 20 plus cards without a Belcher. So I think now we want to hold up Sink into Stupor. We also have Flare Denial active with Thunderclap and Shoal and Pact. We have all sorts of interaction, so I don't think we're going to die. I don't really want to bounce this because he can, right now that it's already adapted, it's pretty much useless. I mean, not useless. It's going to kill us in 3 turns. The question here just becomes, do I want to play out the Specimen as a land? I don't think I'm going to get to Whir for 7 anytime. Like, I'm at 4. I'm not going to survive long enough to Whir for 7. So I think we're going to try to Whir for a Bloom. In which case, leaving up 2 mana doesn't do anything. So I do think we're going to play it as a... Well, I don't need to Whir. If I Whir for Bloom, I have 7. So I'm then... Belcher is live, and if I can draw another Whir, it's kind of live. So I'm going to keep it in my hand to pitch to Shoal. So I can cast Sink plus Flare plus Shoal on 3. Whir for a Bloom, and hope to draw it. Obviously, once we Whir, we're shuffling, so the 3 cards we put on the bottom of the deck now are shuffled back in, but... The other thing is if I Whir for a Bloom, drawing Tameshi means I can make a bunch of mana and pick up a Seagate. We'll let this resolve for sure. Oh, he hit lands and a frog, so he had to just... Oh, he could still exile things. Okay. Swing for 4. I don't know that we want to chump block because right now we can hold up Flare. So we'll take the 4. He played out the Marsh Flats. As end step, we will go ahead and Whir. Let's get a hardcast Force right here. I'm okay with that. Question then just becomes, do I want to Flare it or Shoal it? I'm gonna go ahead and Shoal it and hold up Flare. Nope. Let's it resolve. Okay. Interesting. Pass it back. And Belcher. Close. So now we can Whir for Belcher on their turn. Ooh, this is close. This is tight. So I think I keep everything in hand. We have enough mana to Whir for Belcher and then untap and win. That means we can use Pact, Shoal for 3, Flare. We can't cast Sink into Stupor. Yep. That's our plan. He can put us to 1. We just have to not let our Goryos resolve. He'll probably be able to hardcast this Force. I don't think he has other counter magic main. Because he's playing Frog, Philagi, Goryos, Emperor, Ephemerate, Atraxa, 6, that's 24 cards. Plus some number of Ulamog. Yeah, Ephemerate. That's gonna happen. Happen a bunch of hits here. Find himself another Goryos. Okay. Left himself with no black mana there though, so that was relevant. Got a rebound on the Emperor, I assume, to reset the adapt? No? It's odd. If he did that, I think we might be dead. I'd have to counter the Ephemerate, because he could just activate Emperors of Bones. Oh, I guess he'd have to cast a Mending to get this in the graveyard or something, but... Anyway. I think they were supposed to do that, but maybe he's just like, oh, I'll attack him dead. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize. What is this? Huh. Do I flare the Thoughtseize? I guess. I can't let him take stuff, so... Question is, do I just go for word and response? No. Because then he has Goryos in response. I think we're using the same resources either way, so... Counter the Thoughtseize, because it's going to take my best card. Again, I wish I had more flexible shoal. Here's the Force. Perfect. Counter the Force. Pitch the Specimen. He left himself with only 1 mana. Does he have a land drop plus Goryos? In which case we get to pact it. Oh, when they flickered their Philology, it went down too, so we actually will be at 2 life instead of 1. Done fighting? I have to exile my lair? Sure. That's fine. Well, I think we get there. I'm trying to think of what cards they could have that win them the game here. Just a misclick would win them the game. We're for 4. Ephemerate in response to try to hit a Force? I don't... okay, fine. I don't know what they could get here, but I'll just pack whatever they get. I could pack that, but I don't... Do they forget that they can't Force on their turn, maybe? They did spend that Force, whatever. I'll just close that at this point. I would like 1 Goblin Char Belcher por favor. Then, like, what could you possibly have that interacts with this for free? I don't got green cards, so I'm not seeing a Force of Vigor coming out of here or something. I guess I do technically have green cards. They play this one. Okay, on to game 2. And there you see, I mean, we were, what's it called? Benefited. We were rewarded for playing slow, for interacting with the cards we know we want to interact with, and, you know, not trying to rush things there. Sideboard plan for Goryos is to bring in Harbingers. Makes sense. Bring in Spell Snares. Yep, we definitely want to hit those 2 drops. Everything's 2 drop. And then bring in our Mysticals because they play blue cards. We take out a couple Lotus. Makes sense because they're probably bringing in Consign. Take out a Belcher. Take out a Tameshi or 2. He's kind of less important in this. Did I miscount? 1, 2, 3. Oh, the Commandeer. That makes sense. Like, we're not trying to steal Ephemerates, really. And Goryos has no target for us, so it's not the same as, like, commandeering a Kozilek's Commander, Karn, or something where we get to use it. Oh, classic all-win con hand. 2 lands, even on the draw. I think it's too low. Neither of them are untapped. Yeah. Yeah, we need more lands. Sorry. Sorry, hand. Well, we only got 2 again, but these are untapped, and I have the Thunderclap, so this is one that I'm going to keep. The big question here becomes, do I try to keep Harbinger as like interaction they probably don't have an answer for, or do I try to keep a whir for Lotus on turn 3 to have the turn 4 win? It's tempting. I think I'm going to keep Harbinger. I want to keep Flare, obviously, because I'm trying to turn 2 Thunder Trap. So I'll tuck the whir. Again, not my favorite to tuck, one of our most flexible, powerful cards, but how many times do I have to click yield through the turn? We bring in Harbinger for a reason if I can hit that 3rd land. Oh, look, basic island. That's a fun basic to have. Great. We hit our 3rd land. We got it on turn 1 where we can play it tapped. I love that. Turn 2, we can play out the Specimen, cast Thunder Trap, hold up Flare. There's obviously a window right here where if they like sideboard, where they could have landed a Psychic Frog, but they're not even going for Philology. They don't have black mana. This is an interesting shock. I assume they're playing Counterspell, and I think I'm fine throwing either of these into a Counterspell. I mean, I'd rather resolve this than this. So do I play this out first, assuming it's going to counterspell, or is he? No, he's just going to cast Faithless Mending, right? Faithful Mending. I think that's what. I don't think they run counterspell. We'll see if I'm wrong. Mystical. Okay. If he's spending a dispute on our 2-drop, that's great. More likely this resolves. More likely this resolves, the spells that actually matter. That was pretty aggressive, but I mean, I guess if we were missing land drops, that's a fine play. Another shock here tells me he probably has Force of Negation. Question here is whether to jam Harbinger, hoping it's not a Mystical Dispute, or not. I'm going to take a quick peek at what they're usually playing in the sideboard. Again, like I said, I've taken a break. Maybe he has Consigned to Memory plus something else. It looks like, yeah, Mystical Dispute and Consign are probably what they're bringing in against us. Don't really see anything else that interacts with us. You know what? I think I'm fine saying, like, spend your counter magic here. Next turn we'll dig with our Philology and maybe do double Philology if we hit an untap land. Because if this resolves, I think we're pretty free for the rest of the game. If our opponent's sitting there with Consigned to Memory and a Force of Negation, they're probably frustrated. And this is part of the power of bringing this card in. So that's why I jammed it. Obviously, if he had another Mystical Dispute, that would have felt bad. And I need to draw land to get to jam this, and if not, then we are going to have to take a turn off, but I'll get to play out a Archaeologist that I can then keep up Flare, because I don't really want to Flare with this. It's a good draw. We'll take that. I can now cast that on any blue card. He can only cast blue cards. We just need to hit a land here, and we're going to win. Perfect. Play that out. Don't have to shock ourselves. Almost tempted to cast another one, but I want to keep up Dispute on the off chance. I now have Dispute plus Flare to protect my Belcher, which he's going to have Consign. So, not going to. He most likely has Consign. So this is harder to resolve than the whir that I bottomed, but I just realized that if I was keeping the Harbinger, I probably shouldn't have kept Belcher. I probably should have bottomed the Belcher instead of whir. So right now, but I'd still be a couple turns away from it, but do I jam it? He's like 90% sure to have a Consign. The other option is just play Philology, not take any card unless it's whir, and let him become a 1/4 and just keep beating down, I think. I guess I have 2 counter spells, so I really am only dead to Consign, and if I wait more turns, he's definitely... Well, let's just try. I got Dispute plus Flare. If he consigns for, 2 or 3, it is what it is. This is going to eat a consign at some point in time. Might as well be this turn. Consign, replicate trigger for 3. Yep. Okay. Left up 1 mana, which is curious. I wonder if he drew the Dispute, maybe? Anyway. I don't think he has a blue way to bounce this, and he plays 1 swamp, 1 plains he has to draw naturally, so. Got the old 6-turn clock here. We'll make it, play this out. It'll go to 10. It'll still be 4 turns after that. Got the whir. How much land do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just need 2 more land drops, so dig for land. Interesting. We hit a land that's a creature, unfortunately. I'm debating on taking this. The bloom takes so long enough that we could just kill him with combat damage. Is it worth taking the spell snare here? Once he gets black mana, what is he gonna hit us with? I doubt he's playing any of his removal. He can cast Tainted Indulgences, Goryos, Frogs. Yeah, I think we take the snare. Let's just protect and say our win con is Harbinger combat damage at this time. I guess I could whir for a bloom right now, but I don't think that's worth it. 2, 3, 4, 5. If we have 5 turns to kill him and or draw 2 lands and we're on their turn with flare protection. Although it's likely they have multiple spells. Yeah, we'll play it out. In the meantime, we have a lot of protection on our side. Good old Harbinger. I love this card in this deck. I've won a lot of games like this, although with the old build I was also like hard casting subtleties and brought in Brazen Borrowers often. So sometimes a little faster than this. Of course, if either of these were the he countered our Thunder Trap, if you remember, which is relevant in that this would have been a lot faster if that one resolved. So I probably should have, led on this one instead, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just need 1 more land. But now you have double flare with the 2 Philology plus Spell Snare and Mystical. So I don't think anything is going to resolve, especially on their turn where they can't force us. And they can't use Consign on any of these. I think I counter this because it's a blocker. Yeah, I think, well, that's one of my most efficient counters. They're all very efficient. Yeah, I think we counter this. Force of Negation. Do I just let this resolve? It's so hard because I'm like 1 mana away from just winning the game. But this can block indefinitely. I think we'll fight over it. Don't know what he could have for 2 mana to protect it at that point. Still no concede, so he thinks he has some outs in the next 3 turns. Shoal's interesting in that we can hard cast it for 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. The hidden mode on Shoal that we don't often see, but comes up in this game. Sorry that I've taken up time, obviously. In any blue matchup, this is probably one of the easier blue matchups in that they play the least amount of counter magic, but any deck playing Consign to Memory that can, instant speed make Atraxas, you should take your time with. Usually I like to be ahead of my opponent on clock. Part of that is me describing stuff to you as well. Obviously, all my processing would be internal and a little faster if it was just me, but it is also the fact that I was, looking up a deck list and okay, got the old 4-0-2-0. I think we got time for another match. Looking good. I already sent that text. I am technically working in between, but that's between you and me. Whoever you are, I hope you're working as well. Be on the clock. Charge the man for watching YouTube. Big fan. Don't need that. So yeah, join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. The Belcher and Oops All Spelled Discord. A lot of active people, very friendly people. Us mods try to just really enforce that this is a learning environment, that we're a family, that we're helping each other out, that we're all just enjoying playing combo weird decks, you know. And there was a minute there where the red-green Belcher deck was very popular after Modern Horizons 2, and there was now, blue Belcher, which has always been kind of niche, is having its time to shine, and it's exciting. I think I've played this guy before. In fact, is there a savior on? Is there a savior? That's funny. The Discord. Not that I can see easily. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3 lands all untapped. We have a Belcher. We have some interaction, and we have a 2-drop. I think that's a keep in anyone's book. We'll lead on the Seagate. I assume you can probably hear my keyboard, but if you can't, I was just typing while I was waiting for the opponent. Both began with 7 cards. Let's see who 7 is better. An ideal world like this would have been a bloom, and I could have bloomed on turn 1, and then I just need to hit a land with Philology to get the turn 4 win. But having 2 shoals is fine because they count as a 2-drop for each other, so I could exile the other. 2 shoal and 2-drops tend to be what we want to counter. Heyo! I thought this name looked familiar. I think I've seen his lists. Maybe he's 5-0'd with it. This makes things different. What are the chances my Belcher ever resolves? I joined for a bit, but was a bit much. Oh. I think we're just gonna make land drops. Or no, we're not casting this one. I'm not in a rush to resolve Philology. Well, we know they're like in the Tameshi version. Too active, everyone seemed nice. That's nice. I was gonna say the only difference could be that they might be on Pentad. Makes them a faster combo. Do you want to fight over this? Slow them down significantly. Wish I knew whether or not they had Tameshi in hand. I'll fight over it. I'll play Philology next turn. We'll lead here in case we place a tap land, or in case we find a tap land that we want. What do we want ideally? I guess a whir. Maybe Tameshi, because if we land him, then and if they counter the Belcher, we can bring it back. Neither of us have played a Bloom. All I got was Commandeer. Funny, this is one of the best cards in this matchup. One of the best cards in the matchup. But I probably need a protection spell for it. So next turn we could try to jam Belcher, but I think it's probably better to hold up Sink into Stupor. Plus, oh, I can't do both. Hopefully I just draw a blue card. Nick. That's why he's in Tameshi as well. Anyways. I knew it was a familiar name. Okay. We drew a blue card. So. Ah, man, this is difficult. So what I'm saying is if I can hold Commandeer with these two cards to discard and a Sink into Stupor to try to steal his play instead of trying to jam mine. But I could also try to jam mine and Commandeer whatever counters. Does he have two counter spells? Probably not. I think we jam it. Let's see what happens. No concede though? What is he? What? Can he win this turn? I don't know how he went. Oh, he's gonna whir. Fight over the whir and hope he doesn't have. What could he have here? Or do I fight over? Yeah, fight over the whir. It might be slightly worse if he has the Force of Negation, but this is better versus Shoal because he has to have exactly Shoal plus Seagate, and he's already played two. Okay, my sideboard guide has a couple caveats attached to it based on whether they have the creature or the memory list. I assume he's not playing some sort of crazy surprise. Might have Karn. Anyways, we bring in consigns, we bring in commandeer, we bring in force. Um, then there's sometimes you bring in snare to hit all the two drops. We saw prism. We assume he's playing the two creatures. Um, Disputes are pretty good as well. So the main thing is like the consigns aren't good against the memory lists, but we assume he's not on that because we saw prism. Um, they're still relevant against memory because they hit the Thassa's trigger. But spell snares are the one debate. We side out some number of bloom because they probably have consign. And although it makes us faster, we want to be the one interacting last. We side out some Tameshi because, again, going fast, returning, looping blooms isn't usually what's going to win this one. We side out a Belcher, I think. And again, we brought in memories, we brought in disputes. Like shoals are less good than those. Like if he casts a commandeer, we would rather have dispute or force of negation over a shoal. So that's why we take out these cards. We could go down another Belcher for a snare. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll go to 2 Belcher seems so low. Interesting hand. We sideboarded in all this interaction and we have none of it. We have 6 lands and a bloom. I don't think we can keep this. Although I'm tempted to just because this matchup's probably going to go long. But if he does try to jam, the turn 3 or whatever, I mean, maybe we just hold up Jawari. It's probably not. This is bad. I don't know why. I feel like I should keep it. We'll see. I officially go on the record saying you should mold this hand. So, just so y'all know. Even if I win this game, on average, don't keep this hand. That's all I needed. Another land. He's gonna think I'm joking, but I'm not. He has untapped lands. Oh, I thought I stopped. I think we want to hold up Jawari from here on out in case he goes for the whir. I guess he's probably not going for the whir because he already has this. So we want Jawari for Tameshi. We're just going to play out all these tap lands, holding up Jawari each turn. Do I want to hold up Sync instead of Jawari? I'll do this. I might just lose this turn. This isn't, Oh no, he missed a land drop. So we're probably not going to lose this turn. Never mind. Missing a land drop. Interesting. Maybe I did want Sync for this. I should have paid attention to the fact he missed the land drop. Making him pay 1 more now doesn't really make sense because he could still cast and activate a Tameshi. So going for Tameshi, it looks like. Makes 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it makes 7 even if we Jawari. I think we're dead. But we'll make him click through. I guess it's possible he has Whir and not Belcher in hand. Seems unlikely though. He probably thinks we're doing this and holding up like a Force of Negation or Commandeer or Shoal or, something good, but we're not. We are just losing. Did I do the math wrong? Oh, I think I did the math assuming he had one more land than he has, because he replays it. That makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I added a land. So he only has 6 mana now. So yeah, we kept him from having 7. You could still Belcher this turn. He's going for whir? No. Slams mana to whir. Yes, he does. No, I was right the first time. It is 8. How did I keep second guessing myself. Goes up to 8. And he has Belcher plus activation. Mind grind. Knowing he has mind grind, do we want to change anything? Snare is slightly worse. Um, Snare has lets things. If he's trying to win with that, he probably cut his prisms. Do I want to bring? I think I just bring back in the shoal because I do have a lot of 3-drops. And that hits mind grind. So yeah, I think shoal's better than snare on average. I don't know that we need to bring in more win cons. Like I said, that was a bad keep. Consign is less bad if he has mind grind as his win con as well. Something I probably should have looked at. I don't know if we want to go all in on this, but this could be. This could do it. So we'll try. It's really relying on this Thunderclap resolving to hold up Flare into Whir for Bloom and then Tameshi. But if we get that and we draw another Whir or a Belcher, we can go for the win with some backup. So not holding up Spell Snare is nice. I assume this will resolve. If it doesn't, we did draw a third land, so it's not the worst in the world, but it's not untapped. Some debate for not casting this way, but Force is probably better on average than. Let's look at Shoal right now. We do have 1, 3, 3, 3, 4. But I'm going to take the Force. I think that's better on average. Mind Grind's a sorcery, right? Yeah. Sweet. Multiple. I like having multiple counter spells that can interact. Another Whir is great. Just would have really liked a untapped land here, but alas, beggars can't be choosers. We should be able to Whir to Bloom and then Bloom with Tameshi for the win on our turn 5. Of course, that's all assuming there's no interaction, which isn't going to happen, but we do have interaction available to us. Shocking in, going for Tameshi here. Going for Prism with 1 color. Do I consign now? So here's the thing. Consign. Right now he doesn't have any black mana. This will give him black mana. It also gives him white mana. Consign later is basically just hitting Belcher. This could stop him from casting Mind Grind or activating Tameshi, so I think we actually consign now. You could have consigned my consign trigger. I think that's our best value we're going to get out of consign right now. We drew the sink. Do we hold it up? I think with Force and Flare, we go ahead and play it now. because we can protect Whir with Force and Flare, and then... Oh, I meant to attack. Wow. How much protection does he have? I think we have to ditch the Tameshi. Or do we ditch a Whir knowing we can Whir for Bloom, have Tameshi up? I guess we'd rather have Tameshi plus Bloom than just Bloom plus Whir. Well, Bloom plus Whir means we can go get a Belcher next turn. Yeah, I'll do that. He had a counterspell. He had to have used it there, right? Should have kept that Tameshi. Um, I guess I'll wait till their end step. He could have a Pact of Negation right now, I suppose. Yeah, does he try to... If he had a Commandeer, wouldn't he have used it? No, he doesn't now. Him saying Commandeer makes me nervous to cast this, but I think we go for it. Obviously now he has mana up, so... But he's played 2 sinks. Pact of Negation. Okay. Wanted to run into a friend, although, you know, feels bad to make someone lose. One of us had to lose. I guess it's nice that it was him in this instance, although we do wish him luck in the future. We'll end it there. Some good matches to watch. A lot of back and forth, a lot of blue, a lot of counter magic going on there. I was trying to make this look prettier, but here's the deck list as well. This is what's linked in the description. And yeah, hope all of you have a fantastic day.